you're worth it. And if we don't do that, it says, you know what, you're not worth it. I don't really care, what we do for you. So that, and then the other big part is, I think in terms of academics, has been to implement this academic accelerated initiative, through elementary, middle school, and high school with the coaches. Not a gifted and talented program, because I don't believe in gifted and talented programs. I think, when you say gifted and talented program, it's saying these kids are gifted and these kids are not. And I know that's not true. My approach is everyone is gifted in some area. So what I've tried to do has been to implement something that gives every kid an opportunity to figure out what it is they're really good at, and then give them an opportunity to really expand that, whether it's middle school sports, the elementary honors program, the middle school STEM program, the high school honors academy, the high school STEM academy. None of those things were here. All of those things have been in the last 13 years. And I just come up with the ideas and I say, I'll support it, but it's the people out in the district that do all the work. They're the ones who take the idea. And I think part of what I've tried to do is remove the risk idea from people, is like create an environment that people know it's okay to try something and have it fail. That it's all right if it doesn't work out. The next version of it will work out, or the next way to do it. Because when we did like the Ally program, I hired 4 teachers. 2 of them, or 3 of them were from the district, another was from outside, and basically said, here's my idea, now develop it. And I gave them a framework, but it was their idea, and it's still going on now. I think we've been doing that program for 8 years.
And what's that program? Sorry, that's one I'm not familiar with.
That's it. Well, it was originally called the Advanced Academic Learning Initiative, the Ally program. It started in the elementary, and I got the idea from Fairfax County, Virginia. And then when the kids moved through the elementary, then they're getting to middle school going, okay, now what? So that's when we created the STEM program at the middle school, and then they get to the high school and like, okay, now you've kind of got us all ready for this advanced work, now what? And that's when we created the Honors Academy at the high school. I think that was like the second year that Jeremy was here. And then they created the STEM Academy because there were too many kids that wanted to be in the Honors Academy. The same way for the musical. When I came here, there hadn't been a musical here in about 10 years. And, I went to Tabitha and said, I think I'd really, would really like to bring back a musical. And she was, yeah, great. And I think we just had our 5th musical this past year, which was Willy Wonka. And again, back to the restaurant thing, when I would go to the restaurants and had put the posters up, people were talking about them. And then I'd go the next day after a show and people were saying, oh, I took the grandkids to the show. And I realized that's not just a school thing. A high school musical is not just a school thing. It's a community event. And when you don't have it, you're lacking a connection to the community that's really important. So it's all of those kinds of things that tie us to the community, because the community has to be invested in the schools. And if they're not, then that's problematic. And that's one thing I have to say. This community has always been invested in the schools, always.